Hey traders, David Frost, My Strategic Forecast. You're here for another episode of Common Sense Market Analysis. Today is Tuesday, November 5, 2024. We are looking at a daily chart of the SPY or Spider, which is the proxy for the S&P 500. What do we have on the docket today? We've got Election Day, presidential election, and a bunch of other offices here in the US of A. We are going to get a new president, whether you like him or her or not, going forward. Whether or not we know by the end of this evening or tomorrow remains a mystery. Nevertheless, the market bounced higher, and that's what we're going to contend with today. We're going to talk about the charts. You can interpret who's driving the bus however you like. If you like that this is a Kamala bounce, that's fine. If you think this is a Trump bounce, that's fine. We have no idea who won the election. The polls are still open at the time I'm making this video, so you can make of it what you want. What we do have is a market in the SPY that closed above a big-time breakdown candle high. That exact number is 575.63. It comes from this breakdown candle here, and she closed above it today. Under normal garden variety market conditions, that is a positive development for the bull case. What is the wild card situation? Well, obviously, the wild card situation is who gets elected and what the market thinks about who gets elected. Maybe we're getting a buy the rumors, sell the news type of situation right now. Either way, we got a market that is up and finished, closed the day in a positive development. Beware of the wild card, but here's what we do know. If she continues to stay above that breakdown candle high, 575.63, then the door is open to go fill a gap left open. 580.01, we'll just round it to 580 and say there's an open gap and the door is open for it to be filled. If she fills the gap and stays up in that neighborhood, that'll be back above all the moving averages, and then you know what comes next. The trend is your friend until it's not. Last night we talked about she was beginning to make ing, I-N-G in italics, make ing a bearish, flaggish kind of situation riding the 50-period moving average, but that was a couple of days, maybe 3 days. 50-period moving average held. She went the other way. Whether or not it's going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news event, we don't know. It remains an open question. The election is the wild card. From a weekly chart perspective, this is just a minor pullback, not even coming close yet to the 20-week moving average. Just of note, puzzle piece on the table. She's bullish until she's not. The weekly chart says she's above all the moving averages and the trend is up. Pullbacks happen along the way. They're normal garden variety things until they morph into something different. We happen to be in an on-time month type of situation. No doubt about the uptrend. The trend is your friend. The 20-period moving average is nowhere to be seen on the monthly chart. She'll be back to visit it at some point, but it's not a trading issue because it could take months to get there. And oh, by the way, she could go sideways for a few months while the 20-period moving average creeps up toward price. So we never really can use the monthly chart from a trading or near-term or even intermediate-term forecasting or analyzing perspective. We use it to get a long-term picture, like a quarterly chart. Nowhere near the quarterly 20-period moving average, but again, it could take several quarters, meaning like a year, to get down there whenever she does decide to turn. So you can't use this from a trading perspective. It's more, where are we in a bigger picture situation? Net, SPY, open gap above as long as she stays above the breakdown candle high we just closed above today. Could have done that whole thing in 12 seconds flat. What's going on inside the numbers? Well, as it approaches around 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going with what the scoop is today. 571.35 was the early pivot. Above the early pivot, she goes a leg higher toward 573.40. We had some lower numbers or numbers in the southbound lane down here. Didn't need them because she took off right out of the gate. Check it out. Blew through the pivot down here at 571.35, even blew through 573.40. So let's move it along. Let's see what else we have on the board. What happens if we get above 573.40? I had it on the board as 35 here. The door opens for 574.35. As you can see, she did find some resistance there on the first time, best time situation. Thought that was going to be original overhead resistance zone. They wouldn't be able to waltz right on through, meaning this zone here. While they stayed around there for a while, the first order of business in support or overhead resistances, they stopped going in the direction they're going, but they did eventually bust on through. So that was a true statement. They shouldn't be able to waltz right on through. They couldn't and didn't waltz right on through. But what else is above that we need to know about? Well, as a just-in-caser, the next number above in the sequence is 575.20. And there's your 575.20 and a high of 575.21 in this candle here where the cursor is. And in the live room today, we had some traders attempt to short here. And then we had some traders that attempted a short here. We had some traders that attempted a short here, here, and got paid either way. But then they went into a Tuesday floater situation on election day. Remember, pause the video, read the notes, go back to the chart, and double check the work. It's all in here. Everything you need to know from an S&P perspective, from a commentary of S&P, support, resistance, what's going on, how does it work, what sends price higher, what sends price lower. It's in here each and every day. What else do we have each and every day? We have a list of indexes, a list of exchange-traded products, a list of futures products. Whatever is going to be in demand is what I will commit to running numbers for within limits. I can't do them all. I can do a certain amount each and every morning. It's more work, but here's the story. The feedback has been good. Take a snapshot. Go check out the numbers. See where resistance was today. See where support was today. See where markets stopped. See where markets paused for a while. See where markets were rejected. See where they bounced. This is on the board each and every day. There's extra value here, which means what? Yes, you got it. The price of inside the numbers is going up. Not to existing members. Existing members will be grandfathered in. I will change the price shortly. There will be a new checkout page with a different price, and that's what it'll be going forward, period, full stop. More work plus more value equals higher price. About stocks on the move today, we had ADM, NXPI, and TDC. Let's take a look at the charts, see what we got. ADM, Archer Daniels, you can see what happened here in this zone, 50, 48, 49, 60. Spiked it, ripped it back up in the other direction, gave you the trade. We're looking for base hits with potential. Base hits put you in the Hall of Fame. You never know which ones will give you the rocket ride. The takeaway is A, the numbers work, and B, the numbers work. About NXP Semi, NXPI, 218.36, came into it, spiked it. By the way, this was getting some buzz cut at the open. Yesterday's closing print was all the way up here at 236 and change. Opening down here, pick off the low almost. They spike it, they rip it back up in the other direction, and they give you several dollars out of the trade. Nice trade, NXPI players. Gave you over $6 in just a matter of minutes. Then we have Teradata, Here's a 1-minute chart because you have to see this down to the minute to see exactly what happened. The trade happened on the first number at $30.26. Came into it, spiked it, got about halfway home between that and the second number, ripped it back up in the other direction, and the high in this candle is 30.81, and there's your base hit, and then some, quite a bit more than the base hit from a percentage perspective. TDC, Teradata. What's going on over in Camp IWM? Check this candle out. This daily candle up over $4, almost 2%, 1.9% today. That's a pretty big and healthy move on our favorite market leading indicator, the small caps, the IWM. Above all the moving averages, the trend is in fact your friend. Nothing actually ever happened from a weekly chart perspective. We talked about this, and therefore, when you look at the daily chart, all this is noise from a comparison perspective. IWM should be on its way above 225 for sure, approaching 226, and then you start getting into these highs over here that they'll have a bull-bear battle with if they're there sooner than later. Same routine for Team Transport's second favorite market-leading indicator, a number one canary in the coal mine, staying above all the moving averages. The trend is your friend, approaching the former high over here from Wednesday the 16th. And when you pan out a little bit and look at the weekly chart, this has just been in an uptrending situation, looking to run a test or challenge these pivot highs over here. Didn't mean to do that. There you go. So they've already challenged them one time, going to challenge them a second time, get above, and there's a whole nother leg higher situation going on for the folks down at the transportation department. Buttigieg's crew, he's almost done. Never know, though, he can get a new job in the new administration if your friend Kamala wins over there. What about the Q people? What's going on over here? I find this a little bit interesting. Same concept as the SPY. Let's go back to the daily chart of the SPY. And today's candle closed above the candle from the 31st, the breakdown candle high. You go over to the Qs and you say, all right, same candle from the 31st, and the high is 492.43, and today's high is 492.88, and they closed below it. That's interesting information. The closing print today was 492.21. So they spiked it on a high, but closed below, and that's by choice. There are no accidents, no coincidences in the market. I think that's worthy of a puzzle piece. It's on the table. Not to say they can't close right above it tomorrow. I'm just saying, looks to me like that's an intentional hint type of situation. I'm putting it on the table as a puzzle piece. It's, as they say in the trading parlance, of note. Rally today in the financials, XLF up about 1% today. Came close to our number yesterday, pennies away. The low yesterday, and I know we went over this yesterday, was 46.03. I'm at 45.90. Is that a rounding error? Did they test the most recent breakout area close enough type of situation? Get back above the 20-period moving average, and you know what the jingle is. The trend is your friend until your shit gets thrown out the window. Then we go over to Smash Mouth, and what do we have from the Qs? The exact opposite situation. Here's the high in the breakdown candle, 248.27. Closing print today, 248.31. Closed above it by 4 pennies. No accidents or coincidences. It was an important spot. She knows it. They know it. The fans at home know it. It was purposeful that they closed above. Is the SMH a canary for the tech space as a whole? Again, all this could be a moot point based on what the results of the election are when they come. How much uncertainty is there in terms of when we are going to get the results? What if we're not going to get them? We're going to get a bunch of recounts, a bunch of challenges, all that stuff. Market may get volatile around that kind of information. Meanwhile, if I told you how much I appreciate each and every one of you, without you, these videos, they're not possible. That is true and accurate information. We're pulling the ripcord here today. I'm David Frost, My Strategic Forecast. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Common Sense Market Analysis.